Hey, how's it going everyone? Taysin here, and today I want to talk about, do you or have you ever purchased games on their release date? The reason I wanted to talk about this is because games, I've noticed, or I guess we've all noticed, are very expensive on release date. Sometimes they may stay that for a long time, other times they may drop shortly after, or in most cases with us, we find these games much cheaper on the secondhand market, either through online secondhand or stores, or even through people just selling off their collection. So I wanted to talk about, whether I have, and some of the reasons for it, as well as giving you an example of a couple of games that I have done in that situation. So in terms of the actual question, do I / have I? Yes, I have. Do I? On occasion. And it's not something that I strive to do. In most cases, games that come out that I'm interested in, no, I don't buy them on release date. But for those I have, there are, sort of different reasons for it. So kicking things off with the first reason, a sequel coming out being of a game that I absolutely love. So the first example is Final Fantasy X-2. Final Fantasy X is one of my favourite games of all time, so even just knowing about this sequel, I had to pre-order it. So it was definitely a game I had to get day one. At least for me, I was a young child back then, so in hindsight, maybe I would have done a bit more research, worked out how to get it cheaper or something, or, wait a little bit. But for me, it was definitely a game that I just wanted to play day one at that point in time. So regardless of how much it costed, I used whatever money I had to purchase this. Going on to sort of the second example, a game that had already, talk about games that have already been released prior but have now been released on a newer console in terms of like a remaster, but being accessible to me for the first time. So giving an example is Gravity Rush Remastered. I wanted to play this for years on the PS Vita. I hadn't found a copy on the PS Vita sort of that was cheap enough, or seen one sort of around. And yeah, it was like I knew this game was now coming on the PS4, and it was actually accessible to me because I don't own a PS Vita. Didn't own a PlayStation TV at the time, except I don't think it's compatible on the PS TV. So in that situation, it was coming out, and it was very cheap. I found it for, I think it was $29 Australian on release day. So with that in mind, I was like, it's a game I've been looking forward to for a long time, and it's also a reasonable value. So I definitely had to pick that up on day one. Moving on to sort of a different sort of reasoning for getting a game on day one, and that is that the game came with not DLC as the focus. It came with an actual another game in the series that was only available through digital only. In this case, it was a digital sort of, what's the word? Had a code with the game to allow it to be digitally downloaded. So best way to explain this is an example. That is God Eater 2 Rage Burst. This came with a digital copy of God Eater 1 Remastered called God Eater Resurrection. So in light of this, finding this second hand, I wouldn't actually likely find a copy of this with the code for the first game unused. And being a physical copy of the second game, the first game is what I'm more attracted to. Sort of interested why it wasn't a physical copy of the first one, they gave a digital copy of the second one. It's funny that the first one was digital only. I mean, I would have loved physical for both, and there would have been that ease off of the pressure that I could find this second hand and put the discs in and play. But no, I realised that purchasing this from the store new, it would be better. In my case, unless buying it digitally through the PSN, which at the time I wasn't aware it's possible. I'm not sure if it is possible in Australia. It probably is. Let me know if you do know this. But this is something I thought, purchase it new. Not day one though, but it turned out that through a really good friend of mine, I was actually able to get this a lot cheaper from his store. So with all that in mind, it became a day one purchase for me. And moving on to sort of another category, which is maybe the most common for most of you, and that is getting either like a limited special or sort of like a collector's edition that either has high demand but low quantity. So either you can only get through the pre-order, or you can get it, in the first week or so of release, but it will get sold out likely quite quickly, so it's better to sort of get it as soon as possible. So one example is Xenoblade Chronicles X. I pre-ordered this. It was also a game that I was really looking forward to too, and it was a game that also became, you know, pretty much sold out pretty much from the pre-orders or shortly after release. So in this situation it worked out well for me, but then obviously I say more not extreme or better examples, like the Final Fantasy 15 Ultimate Collector's Edition, the Last Guardian Collector's Edition. These were games that obviously you could only get through the pre-order, so it was a day one purchase. Last Guardian Collector's Edition, I'm not sure if here you could get it in the first week, but I remember it coming off the website, disappearing before like it was released. So that was a situation where, you know, it worked out that was the only way I could get it day one. So yeah, they're just some sort of examples of reasons I have bought games on day one. You know, let me know your thoughts. You know, have you, do you, or is it something you avoid at all costs? As we know, we all have to pay to eat and survive. So you know, these things can be expensive, these games on day one. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sharing, and subscribing. Until next video, stay spot on.